the wall wasn't the only thing that Mew changed. She also changed her avatar settings from human to object.
From human to object?
Which means the virtual world treated her avatar as an object. She could have passed through a wall that only non-humans could go through.
Is that right?
So she would have killed Kokichi on top of the roof. Then she was going to slide herself to the off the roof through the wall and end up on the chapel side. But it seems that she was strangled first.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Kaito. We need to listen to everything Shuichi says. I already told you, the more you try, the more you cause us trouble. It's so totally lame that your own sidekick is dissing you!
Kokichi, enough! I wasn't arguing with him. I was just explaining.
I don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. It just means even I make mistakes. Don't worry about it, Shuichi.
Haha.
Okay.
It's pretty funny seeing Kaito try to act all tough like this.
Kokichi, please refrain from making such irrelevant and irrational remarks.
Amen.
So, if Mew messed with the program and made a wall only she could go through,
Then her secret route was through that wall?
that's it, right? Like using a glitch in a game to walk outside the map. I bet Mew had a hidden passage like that in the back of the chapel.
But even if she could walk through walls, was there really a hidden passage?
It was, Kara. Her hat was levitating because it's magic.
Because Mew said...
No, you're not trapped here. Beyond that wall is the end of the world, literally. Past that wall, nothing exists. Everything ends there.
She probably lied. There would be no point in going if there was nothing on the other side.
Mew lied.
Yeah.
I wonder what the truth is. There's no way to find out now.
That cum-soaked urinal cake was totally lying about there being nothing past the wall.
Wow.
She lived a life of pride, vulgarity, and secrets. Lying would be a piece of cake for her.
Kokichi, you no have to go that far.
Stop it! Don't badmouth Mommy!
Monotaro?
Listen to you, talking about Mommy like she was a terrible lying whore. But Mommy wasn't lying. There was no hidden route in that virtual world.
Oh, there wasn't, huh?
Hey! You can't tell them such an important hint!
Oh, if you say that hint is important, then I guess it must be true.
Oh, shoot!
Ah, jeez. You're lucky you're cute.
Was Kokichi saying all that stuff about Mew to get the Cubs to reveal something? I guess I should thank him, but I have no idea why he does things sometimes.
So now that we know there's no hidden route, why did she manipulate the program? If there's actually nothing past the wall, then that setting was meaningless.
Mew wouldn't have done something meaningless. She would have had a plan.
Yes. Mew definitely wanted to be able to go through that wall for a reason. We aren't sure why yet, but once we solve the mystery of the virtual world...
Mystery of virtual world?
There have been a lot of strange occurrences in the virtual world. If we can determine why, we will also determine what Mew was up to. We'll know why she wanted to pass through the wall.
All right, let's clear up those strange occurrences.
Yeah, Gonta will help, even though Gonta not know what you're talking about.
Thanks, Gonta. That's a friend.
Speaking of strange occurrences, I'm just plain worried about that one thing. Remember? That thing that made us notice all the strange occurrences?
What? The events that led us there. What strange occurrence happened in the Oh, the loud sound. Okay.
This is it!
I was confused for a second.
You mean the loud sound that you and I heard in the kitchen?
What was that sound? It sounded as if something was struck very hard. It came from the outside, but... I wonder if that sound is her
You all
actually
heard that
breaking
sound
the
too?
wall. Can that happen?
Yes, in the mansion's kitchen.
I wonder if we can go back to the world and test that
But
out.
that sound occurred near the chapel. How did you hear it all the way at the mansion?
No, they said they heard it. They had the mansion actually felt like it shook, so maybe it was her hitting the chapel.
First off, sound can't go past the map loading point.
It's not a loading point though.
Did that sound really come from the chapel?
That sound was something hitting the chapel wall. It was real loud.
And we definitely heard it. We heard Kibo's voice as well.
For now, let's go outside and check. Oh no! What? That was Kibo's voice right now, right? I think I heard him outside. He sounded close. Yeah.
You heard my voice too?
What? That is pretty strange.
Exactly. That has to be some kind of clue to the mystery of the virtual world.
Okay, well, let's check the answers later and try to find all the other clues first. There was another mysterious phenomenon in the virtual world, wasn't there?
Kokichi talked like he noticed something. Pretending not to know?
Even Gonta is suspicious of me? I always thought you would be the one to trust me!
Nope.
Sorry, going to not mean it like that.
There's no need to apologize to him. He's probably just lying again.
What was the other strange occurrence? Did you see it, Shuichi?
Another mysterious phenomenon. Something that shouldn't be possible, like Mew in the mansion or that loud noise. Need to remember everything else that happened in there. Oh, Lord. Question is, what weird phenomenon happened in the virtual world? I wonder what it's trying to make us hit, because there's some weird things going on here. I mean, this was lit up for whatever reason. I don't know why that's important, though. What is this? Oh, this. Oh, wow. I have to clear out this entire part? That's dumb.
I see it!
Okay, the strange occurrence they're talking about is the river.
The sign that we were using as a bridge was odd to me.
Odd how?
We mentioned it before, but Mew dropped the sign in the river.
My hand slipped.
We found it later, but there was something unnatural about it.
Finding the sign was definitely weird. I'm most confused by how the sign got there. I should remember exactly what happened with that sign. Alright, here we go. That's the first time it's two of these things in a row. They're moving! Gameplay evolve. I think we're doing pretty good. At which point was the signboard swept away? Huh? When Mew dropped it. Oh, at which point? Translation error, or I'm just not thinking the way the game wants me to. Oh, you're only going through those two. Okay. Where is the end of the river? I don't think there is one. I guess the chapel side is what they want me to say? Right? The end of it? Oh boy, that's a long question. Where was the signboard found after it was swept away? Mansion side. That's how the game wants me to think. Excuse me, or pardon me. Whichever one's correct. There's a fourth question. Okay. Gosh, I hope we get him. Also, yeah, I see a lot of Tsumugi there on the. This is all happening in my brain. Think about it like that, chat. He's got Tsumugi on the mind. Yep, that's what this is. That's what that means. He's compared to the river's current. Which way did the signboard float? To the left, to the right, or towards the chapel, or however they want me to word that. With the current? No, with the current. Oh. Okay. That's what happens when you get it wrong, chat. They die. Compared to the river's current, which way did the signboard float? Oh, I guess we're not supposed to know that the river loops, or maybe it doesn't, and we're just completely wrong. It connects. It could be possible.
It appeared as though the sign was carried against the river's current. We all saw Mew drop the sign and watched the river carry it downstream. And the river was wide there. The sign should have traveled downriver toward the chapel, correct? It should have hit the wall on the far side of the chapel and stopped there. But that's not where we found it. We found it near the mansion, nestled in some rocks.
The signboard should have been near the chapel, but we found it on the other side.
Hold up. Didn't you stay on the chapel side? She probably grabbed the signboard from the chapel wall to cross the river. then left it on the boulders near the mansion so she could get back.
That's not improbable, actually.
Why would she leave the signboard where it could get swept away and leave her stranded?
Also, this has nothing to do with walking through the wall, right? We're getting off topic. We're so close to the truth. We just have to connect the how and what. All the mysterious things that happened have to connect with each other somehow.
Connect how?
A wall only objects can pass through. Sounds that shouldn't be heard. A signboard going against the river current. How are they all connected?
I don't know, but Shuichi should know, right?
Right.
What?
We would be in a lot of trouble if you didn't. The only one who can solve this mystery and save us all is you.
So, how are they connected? Do you know, Shuichi?
Ah, well, what we know so far is that the unnatural way the sign was carried is possibly related to the wall.
What clue is related to the unnatural way the signboard was carried on the river? Use wall.
This is it!
Okay, good. Need some health back, man.
It might have to do with a wall that only objects can pass through. The sign should have stopped at the wall on the other side of the chapel. But if that wall happened to be the one that Mew set to allow objects through,
I see. It's a wall only non-humans can pass through. That means the signboard can pass through the wall, right?
Even if it could pass through the chapel wall, how did it end up by the mansion?
The only way it could do that is if the wall was a warp zone. But it's not, right?
That's right, that's the real issue here. How could the signboard pass through the wall, but end up on the mansion side? What would explain that?
Leave it to me, Shuichi. I, your partner, will give you hints in times of trouble.
Notice the song that is playing. This is Monokuma's theme. What?
This is the virtual world. We should throw away all of our common sense, okay?
Huh? The hell does that even mean?
I don't remember it actually ever playing for a non-Monokuma. Koji might be onto something there. We need to forget about what we know and just think about it. How did the signboard pass through the wall downstream and end up upstream? Putting common sense aside and the focus on the flow of the river, how did the signboard pass through?
that's it!
They're connected!
What if both ends of the river were connected?
Huh? Both ends of river connected?
Exactly. To put it another way, the river isn't cut off at the wall near the chapel. It's all part of one big loop. The upstream part of the river is connected to it.
What? What are you talking about? Both ends of the river can't...
Again, throw out all common sense from your head. We're talking about the virtual world.
Then what about the wall? There was only one wall that could be passed through.
Right. Even if the river's connected and it goes through the chapel wall, it wouldn't have been able to go through the mansion wall too.
It's the one in the same wall. Wait, in that case...
I got it! I know why Mew only set up one wall.
Because they're the same freaking wall.
What are you talking about now?
Yeah. The reason she only set up one wall is because the chapel and mansion walls, they're the same wall.
That's it!
She's the one that drew the maps.
The walls by the chapel and the mansion aren't separate. They're the same wall.
The same wall?
That makes so much more sense.
It's not just the river. The walls themselves are connected.
Divination. Happy Monday, madam. Yeah, good timing.
Don't think of it as two separate walls, but a single wall parallel to the y-axis. That single wall divides the entire virtual world. The idea is, you pass through the wall by the chapel and come out by the mansion.
Everything is starting to connect. See, didn't I tell you? Everything is connected.
So she drew the map that way specifically to make us feel like it's totally off.
Damn it, Kokichi! Just tell us!
It's okay. More importantly, this is the final stretch!
Oh, well, divination, I know how you feel. You know, I have narcolepsy. I know exactly what that feels like. All day.
If both the river and wall are connected, then you can find the secret. Shuichi, you already know the secret behind the virtual world, right?
The secret, huh? Suppose we should clear that up. We need to solve the mystery of the virtual world. Oh, Lord. DMLL, I feel like I'm just gonna start pushing buttons. Nope. L. Bet a D. Nope. Have we done L and a D? I'd like to get the first letter. But R. No. W. Okay, thank you. So, world, probably. Wow, that didn't... There was no W on the map. Oh, they're not M's? Ew. That was confusing. Oh. Missed an R. Dang it. R-L-D? World. A 5-letter word. I was gonna say world map. World border? No. World. What's the first letter? Divination. World sides? L. World. Starts with an L. It's probably an O because those are the only other ones I see. World loads? World loops. Yeah. What is these have all been dumb. All of them. Not a single one of these was like, oh, of course, that makes perfect sense.
Yes, that's it. The virtual world is a loop.
Loop?
Just like in old games, right? Like, for example...
I agree, Divination. It is a universal world of Danganronpa, that the Hangman's Gambit is dumb.
when a character goes off the left side of the screen and reappears on the right.
Yes, exactly. The edges of the virtual world are linked together in a continuous loop.
Saw that, Oshawott. Well said, sir.
The virtual world loops?
What in the world?
What in the virtual world?
If that's true, it would explain the way the signboard was swept away. It vanished into the wall downstream of the river, came out of that same wall upstream,
I think the end of the world is supposed to be the squiggle. And that the original map
and
had
floated
them
with the current until it got caught on the
had
rocks.
the buildings like right next to each other.
What was the world like before Mew added the wall?
Actually, there wasn't a wall on the y-axis at all, and the x-axis was set to loop.
I wish I had a counter for how many times this has happened in the game.
Are you serious? Even if it is a computer program, isn't that too crazy?
A looping world. That's more extraordinary than even magic.
But at least it's not a boring answer. It also explains all the things that happened.
Huh? It doesn't explain everything, does it? Because we still don't know why we heard that one sound or Kibo's voice.
Yeah, sound doesn't go past the map loading point.
Actually, if we know that the world is a loop, we can explain that as well.
Huh? Really?
Please
Yes,
do.
But first we need to be clear where the loop starts.
Where the loop starts. Doesn't it loop at the walls next to the mansion and chapel?
Not necessarily. If we heard a noise at the chapel from inside the mansion, then the loop
Would start in the middle.
There! The map loading point was where the virtual world looped. We thought the loading point was in the middle of the map. But the loading point was actually at the edges.
So the wall Mew created wasn't at the edges of the world, but rather...
Her wall was at the center of the world.
I see. So the mansion and chapel were near each other, with a wall between them. And any sounds emitted near the chapel would also reach the mansion.
Divination, I think there's actually cereal like that, where some of their sales, like go to some respectable, like, reserve or something, like some kind of donation.
The wall only allows non-humans to pass through, so sound should be able to pass through easily.
That's right. That's how the virtual world works.
Impressive, Shuichi!
If Monami isn't on the box, I demand a rebranding. I agree. She deserves to be on World Loops.
For you to get this far! Yes! Yes! You are useful indeed!
For you to get this far, what are you, some villain pulling the strings?
Yes.
Nope. Mew pulled the strings here, not me. Remember? Mew also set this trap. It all began when Mew showed us the map. Because of the map, we mistakenly thought the loading point was at the center. Which in turn made the mansion and chapel seem farther away from each other.
But the structure of the world wasn't actually like that.
I want to know why she suddenly decided to want to kill somebody.
There was a wall along the y-axis, and the x-axis came around in a loop.
By putting that wall in the center of that world, she cut off the loop.
So ever since Mew showed us that map, we were caught in her trap. But we solved this mystery thanks to Shuichi. All hail our savior!
Any thoughts on why she chose to kill Kokichi? I mean, as far as I could tell, everyone hates him. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, if Shuichi wasn't here, then we never would have solved this mystery.
That's right. Good work, Shuichi.
Or maybe nobody would care that he died.
Thanks, Shuichi. You saved us.
You're welcome.
And also, Kokichi's been leading this entire trial. I want to make that very clear.
Just because we found out the virtual world's secret doesn't mean we can take it easy yet. Actually, this culprit hunt just got to the exciting part. Even if we know all the tricks, it's pretty meaningless if we don't find the culprit. That's how a class trial works, after all!
Yeah, Angie liked everyone. She was just forceful on her beliefs.
Kokichi talking like Monokuma again.
And he gets the background music.
No matter what you say, I'm not gonna believe your lies.
When I hear this music, the first thing I think of is actually like, I don't remember which game it's from, but there's Monokuma's doing like this little dance. There's like a little dance that's going on. I need to remember what that one is from.
I'm gonna believe in everyone. That's how I'm gonna reach the truth.
I can't wait to see what happens next!
What is Kokichi's plan here? He's definitely prodding at Kaito on purpose. Well, there's no time for distractions like him. We have to do this to find the culprit who killed Mew. Doesn't matter how many little mysteries we solve, if we can't find the culprit, it would all be for nothing. It was from Ultra Despair Girls? Okay, that makes sense, because that was where the most Monokumas would be. But I still don't know for sure who it could be. Who used Mew's own plan against her to kill her? Who killed Mew? Intermission, probably. Intermission. I would love to save.